Uh, these dog nuts. Got to be careful with these dog nuts. Dog nutters, so-called dog experts, dog trainers. Uh, they tend to use a lot of word salad. They will flip words. You know. They rearrange words, phrases, terms. You'll notice in the media when the news reporter asks these dog nuts, pit nuts questions. All these dog nuts and pit nuts, they'll be hesitant for like a second or two, and then they answer the question. That's something I've noticed. They'll ask a question, like the typical questions, you know, what are the warning like are all pit bulls, for example, maybe a bad example, but like are all pit bulls dangerous? And they will pause for a second or two, and then they won't give like a direct response. They're gonna fumble around with the answer and give an answer where it's protecting the worthless mutt. One thing, one word that they will use when we're talking about dangerous dogs, dangerous pit bulls, when we're talking about attacks and fatalities that these dogs have caused, instead of using the terms attacks or fatalities, they're going to use the term aggressive. They're going to use the term aggressive instead of the terms attacks and fatalities. I don't think there, from as far as I know, I don't think there is an aggressive stat. An aggressive stat? Like, how do you really measure that? How do you measure aggression? Like, what is like aggression when it comes to dogs? Is it when they're like their teeth are showing and they're growling, and or is it when they're barking? We don't know. But obviously, when a dog like we know when the dog is like it's hard to explain, but given that mean growl and their teeth are showing, we can say that hey, that is aggressive. But when dogs attack, they don't all do that though. A lot of stray dogs don't growl and show their teeth and bulge out their eyes or their ears. They don't do all that when they're being overly aggressive. It's hard to explain without showing an example, but maybe in the future I'll show you a good example of what I mean. So it's really hard to measure aggression, and that's why they use the term aggression to avoid talking about attacks and or fatalities. And when you look at the stats will either say attacks or fatalities done by dogs, most specifically pit bulls. And it will give you the number, the percentage, the total between the years. None of these stats ever state aggression, because aggression from person to person may vary. Some people may not see a dog as being aggressive. Some dog nuts may not see the dog as being aggressive when it is, or they may see the dog as being aggressive when it's not. So it's really hard to really say, hey, this is aggressive. Obviously, if there's some traits where okay, this dog is being aggressive. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of people are going to have their own opinion on this aggression. But one thing we can easily agree on and come to a conclusion on is the attacks and the fatalities done by dogs. But when they talk about this in the media, they don't really talk about attacks and fatalities. Talk about aggression. Or they may mention attacks, and when they do mention attacks, they play this word salad, and they say all dogs are able to attack. Duh, we know that all dogs are capable of attacking, but the stats point out that the pit bull attacks a lot more than every other dog. Then they're gonna say, "Oh, the Chihuahua attacks more," but we don't see the Chihuahua on the charts. Then since that doesn't work, they're gonna say, "Oh, blame the owner." So you're telling me all pit bull owners? So you're telling me that the pit bull attracts a lot of bad owners then? See these dog nuts. Don't let their word salad fool you. Don't let their word salad fool you. When these people in the media ask these questions, man, they always give such a word salad type of question. They don't answer it directly. They don't answer it yes or no. Even though the stats and the evidence say that these dogs are lethal, they will avoid it. They will talk around it. And say all the excuses that we have already heard. So why even ask these people to come on live television if you already know what they're going to say? It's like you already know what they're going to say. So is there any point in having these so-called dog experts or pit bull trainers on TV just to say things that have been said every time over and over? Why can't the news media just look at the stats and the facts and say, hey, pit bulls are attacking and killing more than any other dog? Or in generally speaking, dogs attack quite a bit. Dogs attack their owners quite a bit. But they don't want to do that. And that's because, again, they want to protect these worthless mutts. But the pit nutter are going to act as if the news media hates pit bulls. And if that was the case, why don't they invite people who are anti-pit bull to speak? It is always people that are pro-pit bull or pro-dog speaking on the behalf and for pit bulls. They're never, I don't want to say never, but it's rare. I'm pretty sure it has happened before. But it's very rare to never where they're going to bring someone that is anti-pit bull, anti-dog to speak. But these pit bull nutters always want to play the victim and act as if the media is giving these dogs a bad rep. But they're always asking pit bull experts to speak. Like always. And the stats and the facts say that the pit bull, dogs in general, attack quite a bit. Quite a bit is an understatement, but they attack a lot. They will attack a lot. But these dog nuts are gonna play their word salad and try to flip things to protect these pit bulls. They're not really going to debunk the claims or whatnot or acknowledge it or accept it. They're just going to play their word salad game and repeats the same junk we've heard before, which just hasn't done anything except increased dog attacks. Yeah, I say just be careful. The news media, the dog nuts, the dog experts, the dog owners, the dog lovers, they tend to use word salad in order to protect these worthless mutts. Specifically when they're talking about dog attacks or dog fatalities, they will try to use the word aggression. And aggression, it varies from person to person, I think. Some people may think the dog's aggressive when it's not. Some people will say the dog is aggressive when it is, or is not, or whatever. So it's really hard to monitor that. But as we all know, we do have the stats and the facts, the video evidence, the testimonials from social media site to social media site of pit bulls attacking, pit bulls in the news attacking, videos of pit bulls attacking. And obviously, it's not just a pit bull. We all know that. But majority of the time, roughly maybe 10 times out of 10, it is always going to be the pit bull attacking. But anyways, please help normalize dog hatred.